problems, so I missed the draft. So we'll go through VoidWatch's lineup first. We have in the bottom lane Apollo on the Dragon Knight. In the mid we have MacMan179 on the Viper. Top we have C-Rex on the Faceless Void. Dante on the Witch Doctor in the bottom lane. And last but not least, Bio on the Lich. And for Australian Mafia, we have Feeding MMR on his Tidehunter yet again. In the mid lane, we have Kobe the Manly Manicorn on the Magnus. We have Lady Fennec on the Ogre Magi. Damus on the Diny. And Capsuneras on the Vengeful Spirit. Check out the Couriers. Got sweet Antipote Couriers. Oh, and then that transforms into the Elgato. And the Lich has the Ascendant Val Construct Courier. So, nothing's happened thus far. We're still 0-0. Venge sitting here, all nice and pretty, directly underneath a Radiant.
Bottom is missing.
The dire Radiant pole camp's blocked by a nicely placed ward by the Tidehunter, which that's now going to be promptly dewarded. Yep. Although I think that could potentially block this camp, but I'm not sure. Depends on, might be just on the edge of the box. Wow. Great value out of this sentry though. It managed to catch both wards, so good work by VoidWatch. We'll bring up the CS graph. Where's CS list? We have Tiny leading the pack at 17-4. We have the Viper at 13-1. The Dragon Knight at the bottom 12-0. Magnus 9-0. Tidehunter 4-0. Venge 3-1. And Ogre Magi taking up the sweet sport 0-5. Deny Lord he is. Not so much happening thus far. Not too many rotations. Void just being a little cheeky here, getting some, trying to get XP from the pull, but he could get caught out of position here. No, Venge can't, and he does have Time Lock available if need be, so they'll just trade slaps. Still no first blood, and these lanes are awfully passive, so probably not an early first blood. Tiny completing his treads at an alarmingly quick rate, 4 minutes, is pretty special. We have my phone.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Okay, so Tiny's making a dive for this, and they chained a little bit of their stuff.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Faceless, pretty safe, gets tower shots eventually tanking, so they're
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
South up, but Viper goes on the Venge first blood. Picked up by the VoidWatch.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Good little chop by him, and the Tiny gets in safely, so VoidWatch is on the board first with the kill onto the Venge. Dragon Knight in the bottom lane does now finish up his treads, so slowly but surely both teams' carries getting their initial items online. Gold graphs can be pretty boring. Only 500 million of Australian Mafia. The XP a little bit in favor of VoidWatch before they could kill. Tiny's here, farming up Storm. 36 last hits compared to the 25-6 Dragon Knight at the bottom. Not too much happening again right now. Fell into a low point. Oh, the Tide's low, but he TP's out just in time before. Yeah, Frost Blast was online, which would have killed him, as was a cask from the Witch Doctor, which would have also been a kill. Oh, we got an engagement top, and Void dies, so bit of revenge for the, bit of revenge, for the Venge kill a little bit earlier, so, and a little bit more gold for the Tiny, who appears to be going Blink Dagger's second item. That would be my guess, given his current saving for a rainy day. Ooh, I missed. Okay. So Magnus getting caught on the wrong side of the Radiant Tier 1 tower and drops to a very, very low HP Viper. Viper who now has finished his dreads. Got some more chaos up here. The
Dire's mid towers have
nice
technical
harassment
difficulties.
Thrown onto the Faceless Void. Witch Doctor rotating towards top lane, so same with Lich, so it's not spotted out by, well, any wards, as there are none on the map, so we'll see what they can do. They haven't just yet shown themselves, so oh, a Chronos, so here out comes Witch Doctor, chuck a stun, and a
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
oh, the Void just cuts out. I don't think the Tiny will tick down to the Maledict. Nope. The Maledict was a bit too late, so Chrono blown for nothing. Harass the Tiny out, which will give the lane a little bit to the supports for a short while. Although there is the dramas for the Tiny completed, so that's what he's saving up for as he walks back to base, which his team should really scream at him for that. Use courier and then walk back to base. Viper got an Ninja's rune, so he's looking to set up a gank on this Tide Hunter in the bottom. There's no wards on the map, so Tide has no clue that he's coming. So we'll wait and see. Tide does have Ravage, so he could kill that, and he does, but still don't think it'll get him out. Yeah, Kraken Shell does a little bit of help, but this seems to be a dead Tide Hunter. Although, nope. Dragon Knight is ever so slightly faster. Heads up play by the Tide to deny himself to the neutrals. Good job neutrals for actually doing enough damage in one fell swoop. The Venge dropped him up here in the top lane, but and Tiny chucks the Witch Doctor onto the Void to kill him, and then slaps him down. This could be a triple. Oh, Ogre grabs the last of the cares, so a good 3 for off lane plus 2 supports in exchange for a single support. And very good trade by Australian Mafia. So let's see what they can do. Tides. Did he get out of there safely? Oh, right. He denied
bottom towers getting the business.
So now he's gonna take on Ancients. He has a couple points in Kraken Shell and Anchor Smash, so that should get him his Blink Dagger online pretty quickly. He's on most Tides that I see do go Mana Boots first, but into Blink Dagger. But I've noticed that feeding MMR does tend to prefer Blink first, then Mana Boots afterwards. Tiny making the long walk back to base again, with another 1,000 gold in the bank, so definitely going to be a Blink Dagger saving up for. Ogre has wards, which is good because the map is starting to look a little dark. Oh, Void pings up the Ogre as He walks back to defensive position. Tide's again low on life. Oh, but he's doing ancients, so that's to be expected. I think he just still needs that extra point in Kraken Shell to be able to do this effectively. I think 4-point anger smash isn't the greatest, but we'll see. Viper's coming in. Ward spots it out, but Chrono was wrong, but again, Void drops instead of the Dire team. So, certainly Mafia seem to get out of this. Oh, Viper does get the last hit. Hasted Viper against Drums Tiny. You know who will win that one all the time. Viper does just stand his ground and chuck Venom at the Ogre, but Ogre gets away safely. I think he could have done a better job had he orb walked correctly instead of just standing, shoot, walk, shoot. Some indecision from the Tidener, buys the teleporter scroll, then immediately sells it.
Radiant disown
Void
their
disown
top tower.
denies his top tier 1 tower here, as the Tiny TPs to the bottom lane, so looking to make some stuff happen down here. So let's see, toss revenge, gets the stun. Now that got chucked, so let's see. Witch Doctor, could he be the first to go? The drums are popped. Oh, the Witch Doctor's done. Oh, RP chucked for just a lich, and lots of, and there's a stun. Getting the last hit on all 3 of those kills, so really good rotation from Australian Mafia. The toss vanish did an amazing amount of work, and then she just kept checking out last hits. That's given her decent chunk of change, which
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now. Radiant's down and fortified their structures.
Now they're getting
getting beat down.
So this is
Radiant's bottom tower's
they're
seen
gonna do
better
some
days.
decent damage to this bottom tier 1 for the Radiant, as the Faceless is now
Radiant's
also
bottom tower
pressure
ain't a
the
pretty
top
sight
tier
right
1.
now.
So that's
Radiant's bottom
tier 1
tower's
to
done
fall.
for.
And
Dire's mid tower could use a little
the
help.
Tiny immediately TP's top, so he's looking to defend here. His intred's going, so bit of a smart rock going on. Ogre TP's to mid, looking just ignite harass on the Viper. They're pinging out this Void that's farming here, so they could look to
Dire's
go
mid
on
tower
in.
could use a little help.
The Avenge is also TPing to the top lane, so this is spotted out by the Void, so he backs safely. The Magnus just skewered the Dragonite, but not much follow up there. Diving. And Tiny gets the last hit, so this bench Tiny stuns plus damages, been doing a lot of work.
Dire's mid tower's having technical difficulties.
So 9 to 5, which is this vent. If we go to KDA, the Tiny and the Venge are doing the most work thus far.
Dire's mid tower
Tiny
won't
78
last
last
much longer.
hits. He's going straight for Aganons, which makes sense, of course. Some Tinies do prefer the Blink, but Eggs is
Radiant's
perfectly fine
top
choice.
tower's in
Speaking
bad
of
shape.
Blink, the Tidehunter has completed his Blink Dagger now, so should look to see some initiation going on with that.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
Oh, wow. What is Tide doing? Tide caught out of position, walks right past the
Radiant's
Witch
top
Doctor, and
tower's
then
hurting.
just gets Chrono jumped on for no good reason. That's not really the best play for the
Radiant's
Tidehunter,
top
but
tower's taking hits.
got his Blink Dagger, so it's not the end of the world. Wow, Tiny and Ben knocking down
One
towers
last
here on
top tower
top
for the
lane,
Radiant.
so very good work by them to get some work done. Tied with smoke, so see what they are looking to set up with that. XP graph a little bit in VoidWatch's favor. Gold quite significantly in favor of Australian Mafia. We got the pink bottom. Still got Ravage tied, and Ravage is tied with the RP. Not the
Dire's
best.
mid tower won't last.
Bit of miscommunication there,
Them
but
Dire
Anchor
buildings
Smash.
are tough as nails for now.
Tide still is with the blink, so blink's ahead. Anchor Smash. And wisely the Dragon Knight's TP's out, so. And Tide's kind of in a poor situation here. Just chilling out here in the bottom here. Blink's over to the side, but his team's gone back, so he's just gonna inch his way to the side shop to get a teleporter scroll. They're pinging out some words. Oh, Tide doesn't TP, just blinks out of the trees to safety. Men just in the mid lane, just getting some valuable XP. We have Tiny TPing in, so Tiny is like eggs already, so before he hits his level 11 even, so very, very quick eggs on.
Dire's top tower, you know the drill.
Okay, we got 3 moving towards this the Void is just farming here. They pop smoke, but they did just walk past a Radiant Ward. So, don't think this is gonna be the most successful smoke gank of all time. Oh, and of course, 3-man Chrono and Lich ult. It's amazing. The Empower pulls the Magnus out a little bit, but there's 3 dead. That was an excellent Chrono into a Lich ult to just do massive amounts of damage to the Australian Mafia team, which if we look now at our gold graph, that took a sharp upward climb after that fight towards the VoidWatch side. XP just there's not much to say about that almost vertical climb after
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Off of that, they're gonna take a mid tower. So very good team fight for VoidWatch, taking
Dire's mid tower's having
2 of the Australian Mafia cores plus support and a tier 1 middle tower. Very, very good work. Tiny's now hit level 11, so he's gonna hit that much harder with his grow or with his tree. Kills have evened up. They were Australian Mafia were starting to pull ahead in kills, but it's even up to 9 kills apiece. Tide farming away his mana boots, I would reckon. I'm gonna be quite slow. I don't
Radiant's
really like delaying the mana boots for blink, but because you don't have the regen in the middle of a fight to be able to do anything past a few anchor smashes and a gush. So we'll see.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
They're all standing around.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
Dragon Knight and the Lich are getting
breaking
most
through
out
the
of
Dire's structures for
the Lich.
now.
Oh, and the Void as
Radiant's
well.
mid tower's coming apart.
Australian Mafia kind of falling into a bit of a trap by grouping up as 5 mid while the VoidWatch players are making a variety of good rotations. The Void taking Bum to 1 as well as the Lich placing a pretty aggressive ward into the Dire jungle. Okay, that's a dead Lich after a good toss and a Ravage. Wow. Very good team fight and a swap. And wow, to quote LD, they're all dead. That's very solidly executed fight from Australian Mafia, taking the Lich down first, and all of the RP and the Ravage. Very solid execution. And they're going to take the tier 2 hit off the bat, so walk up high ground to do some damage here. Tiny hit the critical mass pretty early with that really fast Ganon, then he's going on to an assault press as well, so that's a tier 3 tower down. 20 minutes in, which is really fast. Although Magnus is not in the place he wants to be. Oh, and Void Chrono as well, swapped by the bench to get the Ogre out, and wow, so much going on. The Void almost died to the Ogre's stun, but not quite, and all of that happens just for a dead Vengeful Spirit. The Tiny gets out with a sliver of health, and he tried to use his drums when he has no drum charge, which is pretty amusing. So still a good trade for Australian Mafia. They get the tier 3 tower just for their hards, or their like roll 5 support Vengeful Spirit. So Tide's still farming. He has 2,000 gold, so I don't know what he could possibly be saying for that he can buy already. Unless, no, can't be the double blink. Never been done before in the history of Dota. So Magnus farming mid, keeps empowering himself just to give him that extra bit of cleave damage, and the Tide finally finishes up his mana boots. They're pinging out there, haste rune, but Radiant doesn't have vision of this, so they could potentially get jumped, but nope, Viper backs off. They have a creep here that they could use to stack. It's the Dragon Knight that has the helm, so we'll see if he's actually on the ball enough to put his good use, or if he forgets.
I'm grateful to
good guy Magnus, bottling up the Tide before picking up a rune. Void, time locks out, but Magnus has his blink, and so does the, and it's a Maelstrom coming out for the Void, so Void has Maelstrom, the Magnus and the Tide Hunter are kind of, they're around where the Void is, but they seem to just have missed each other. Now there's is it all 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all 5 Dire Heroes grouped up at bottom, pushing towards this tier 2 tower. Void does have a Chronosphere, so the Dire needs to be careful not to group up so much. They're kind of vulnerable right now. They can get at least 3 there. 4-man Chrono, and the ult. Oh my god! And the Ravage, which doesn't quite catch the Witch Doctor. So Bench finally summons the Witch Doctor, and the Tide and Venge are down. But Ogre takes down the Faceless Void with what exactly? Ignite burn damage. So takes the last, gets so a 2-for-1 trade. Not the greatest for Australian Mafia, but they did lose offlaner support in favor of the VoidWatch offlaner. But they didn't get much damage on to this tier 2 bottom, and there's just kind of, they started to chase back here, and they were grouped up and made Void's Chrono just so easy for him. And the Tiny was stuck out by himself here, nothing really to do. He's blocked off by his team by this tier 2 tower. So poor decision making by Australian Mafia to not group up and just stay in a place where their whole team could have been useful, instead of getting too over aggressive and then getting dragged into a choke point. Go back. Void has his Maelstrom. The Dragon Knight has Helm, Drums, Treads. Lich has picked up his mechanism for the team, which is good. Ogre's not building towards mech. Venge has the headdress for one, and on the courier, no point boost for Ogre. So still quite a ways away from a mech, but
good of you.
very wisely did pick up an early Vlad switch will do. And Lich dies by the blink skewer, so good work by the Magnus to get that done. As I was saying, Venge, good pickup with the Vlads, as she has been basically being a tag team with this Tiny, so good synergy with that. Double damage room picked up by Magnus. So blue, the Dragon Knight pings out Roshan. I don't think this is the smartest choice for them. They don't have the map control. Oh, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is the Radiant or the Dire side that's heading towards Roche, which is good because although they did just walk as a group past this Radiant Observer ward, which Void promptly pings out. He does have a Chronosphere up, so this could be amazing. Tied intelligently outside of the Roche pit, but Roche is falling quickly, so, and Magnus jumps out as well. That's a Roche down. Tiny did pick it up. What? Oh, the Tide just blew the Ravenous entirely, but holy crap. Wow, Tiny with the Rampage, just everybody dies. Wow. Tiny with just buckets of damage coming out. Let's see. Wow. Just
trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Tiny, just avalanche toss. So much work there.
Radiant
There's another tier 2 tower. Just dead. So, Lich is back up. But
Radiant's bottom tower.
And before it's siege, so Lich Doctor and Lich are the only two. I think that the Australian Mafia can take this tier 3 tower. Missed the skewer, but it's okay. They have the ability to be pretty confident in getting this. Kind of a shame that Tide blew the Ravage, but that still turned out amazingly. Tiny goes right for mid, pops the Aegis, but gets a ranged Drax in the process, but stunned. He's a dead one. Definitely. Yeah, and the Witch Doctor also burns a Wicked 6 streak, and Tide almost made a poor decision. Oh, stunned. So 2 for 0 for only a ranged Drax. Not the best decision making coming out of Australian Mafia. That did feed VoidWatch a massive amount of gold and XP, 3,000 and 4,000 respectively. So we'll look at the gold graphs. It's still almost 8,000 in favor of Australian Mafia XP. After that, those 2 clutch kills, especially on the Tiny, going back up towards VoidWatch's, but still 3,000 XP lead in favor of Australian Mafia. So Australian Mafia has done a really good job thus far of taking this down towers. They have mid and bottom both exposed, and they've had 2 really clutch team fights where they've taken all 5 of VoidWatch's heroes down, which they've pushed into a tier 3 tower push off of every single one of them. So hopefully that they can get one more done and close this game out, because it does look promising given their current situation in this match. Oh, Viper just ulting creeps. Viper has fairly unique build. Hood of Defiance is not common on Viper, at least in my experience, and I don't know who it's exactly targeting. I guess the Tiny is probably the best bet, but it's still an unusual pickup. I find Tiny grabs a heart, so he's just gonna be literally a stone tank. Tidehunter building towards his refresher. He's getting close to Oblivion Staff. Just needs a and boom, Robe of Magi picked up. So just a recipe to go. So roughly 1,200 gold. So Dyer's seems to be setting up shop for a mid rat. Just take the mid final rat. Tiny comes in with the avalanche toss, and Dragon Knight dies. So again, very solid effort by this Tiny to just keep taking the look. Ty blinks in pretty deep for the Ravage to just stun them, and wow, dead Lich. The RP by the Magnus takes out the Void by his back, and Lich gets an ult inside of Chronos. Dead Magnus, and Tidehunter lives, and wow, Mask of Madness Void just getting swallowed up. Viper's poison ticks out the Magnus, so 2 for 2, but they blew Void, or 2 for more because they did blow Void's buyback, as well as, no, just Void's buyback, pardon me. But, oh wow, he's dead now so quickly. So, Tiny's just gigantic right now.
Guess what's
3,000 HP, and he just hits for like 500 damage a swipe. This game is looking pretty over. Stunned by the ogre. I don't know why. Dragon Knight really needs a BKB here. Wow, just like stunned. Tiny may finally die. Yeah, so Tiny stood there for like 10 seconds getting just mauled, and Viper gets killed in the vent. So again, another just feed of XP and gold from Australian Mafia. Not that I don't think that VoidWatch has a chance in this game. They're down 2 lanes of racks, and this game goes anything like the Virtus Pro Polar vs Cloud9 game, 2 hours, I'm leaving by like an hour. So 33 minutes in, and Australian Mafia has full control of the map in this game thus far. Like, the Radiant's pretty dark when it comes inside their base. They don't have any wards. Their only sort of pseudo ward is this range creep that they've dominated over here. Where if we look at just Dire Vision, Dire has, they have this pretty decent offensive ward, which is good for when they're pushing. But I feel like they need to get another one around the Roche pit, as Roche is coming back up in about, what is it? About, I think, a minute or 2. I can't read the Roche timer. So Tiny draws the big arrow down this top lane to go make things happen. So as team starts rotation, Ogre picks up the well-needed bounty rune. He has his, again, a scepter up already, so he's got just stuns galore. He's almost level 16, which will just make him a completely skill-based hero with no luck elements involved in any of his stun multicasts. I get some banter from VoidWatch about being tired, which I don't really understand. It's not an unreasonable hour of the day. And we got a boss. Can I have a sec? No. Wow. So we got some oh, we're back to resuming. So, Witch Doctor was here, he got pinged out, but why is he back after Ogre, obviously? Good war by the Ogre, gets good vision of this push for any wrapping around. So very good play by this over Magi. Green, so they're pinging out the Tiny is empowered, which makes him hit for the 600 damage with cleave, which is just absurd. Tiny Magnus seems like a pretty ridiculous combo in my books right now. And Bloodlust, so just this.
Radiance.
Wow, got a stun. Tiny, just massive. The Ravage, the RP, the Void ult, but it goes off, but really focusing. Void gets 2 with Maelstrom rocks, but dead. Dragonite buys back, dead Viper, dead Witch Doctor, dead Lich, and now it's wow. Void just one shot. Tiny just backtrack this one, and VoidWatch only GG as Dragonite finally falls. This Tiny just absolutely massive at 36 minutes. The Magnus and Power was so good with it, plus Bloodlust just buffs this Tiny to high heaven, and as we saw with the just one-shotted Void, he just hit extremely hard. Australian Mafia pulled up the victory pretty handily, I would say, with Tiny 243 last hits, which is an excellent performance, 19-3-10. So very good work by Australian Mafia, that their Tiny stand-in, showing, well, how basically putting on a clinic how to play Tiny. Void, none of the Dragonite went for a really bizarre item build. He didn't get BKB, which I think would have been extremely important against at least half Australian Mafia's team, but what can you do? Viper as well with the pipe, not the best choice I feel, but that was pretty dominating performance by Tiny. Adios.